Welcome back to the Black Sheep
Speaking of
Podcast.
that.
Today we have a wonderful guest, Bridget Belton. When you think of the Freedom Convoy, this is the face of the Freedom Convoy that you never knew existed. That's how I'll introduce you. And then I'm going to let Bridget introduce herself and give... Now, Bridget is a talker like me, so I'm going to have to keep her on cue here, but... We're going to give her an opportunity to give a brief introduction of kind of her start.
Who you are, how, like where you came from, how you got to where you are, and then how it led to your book.
Okay. And we're live.
Floor is yours, baby.
The floor is yours.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back in 2021, I was hit for the third time at CBSA as a cross-border trucker. We had purchased our truck back in 2021, about September, and they were threatening to take our loads, take my dog, and put me in an undisclosed location for an undetermined amount of time. And that scared me.
Why?
Because I couldn't wear a face mask.
Okay.
As a victim of violence, I got triggered. My husband would constantly bring home a new face mask for me to try, and it wasn't something that I could do. Mm-hmm. Did I keep my distance? Yes, I did the protocols we could, but I couldn't. The mask was too much for me. So that's kicked off in 2022. That kicked off my need to do a convoy, and I was sitting in my Wallaceburg home, and I looked at my husband. I said, "We need to do a convoy," and he said to me, "Convoys never work." He goes, truckers can't agree on a cup of coffee or the color of a red truck, right? And he wasn't the only one that said that to me. It was Chris Barber that also mimicked my husband's idea about a convoy and truckers, that it just will never work.
Interesting. Okay, so basically 2020 COVID hits, the world goes crazy, our government goes crazy and totalitarian. You are one of the truckers that, to the best of my recollection, only a few months earlier, we were praising on the news, and every podcast and every clip was, "Thank you, truckers. We love truckers. You're endangering your lives for us truckers. You're essential." I wasn't fucking essential.
Sorry.
I don't know. I guess you were essential. You were essential. I mean, obviously you were essential, but like, who isn't fucking essential? But like, okay, getting back to it, you were like, Jesus Christ, the second coming, truckers. And then very quickly, we hated truckers.
Yeah.
So you had enough of it, and then you decided, I've got to get something done. I'm going to start this convoy. And then Death to Truckers began. So go from there.
Well, it started basically when both governments, so the U.S. government put in place their mandate first to stop unvaccinated truckers. And they did that, I believe that was to take place on the 23rd of January, 22nd of January, sorry.
Of 2022.
Of 2022.
Okay.
And
so remember, for the listeners, this is Joe Biden, crazy Joe Biden.
Right, yeah. And then Trudeau upped him and said, no, we're doing it for the 15th, right?
Oh, wow.
And it was funny because the CTA, the Canadian Trucking Association, the ATA, were all like, well, wait a minute, we've got truckers out there that are not vaccinated. We need some more time. And they're like, nope, that's the date. So when I was planning, I looked back into 2020, in August of 2020, when the CBSA had their strike and they left us stranded on bridges.
Right.
And I mean, they literally closed the border. It took up to 14 hours from some drivers, maybe even longer. I only know of the 14-hour driver to get across the border.
Wow.
And so I planned the convoy based on their information. And I said, like, if this happens, we do need to stand up. We have the right to work. We have the right to support our families. We have the right to not have our income taken. And I had watched, and I felt bad at that point that I had watched, the nurses and the doctors and the police and the firemen all go through the same thing, but they were essential.
Right.
They were essential until the government decided we were no longer needed.
Right.
Right. So truckers, though, are used to going from being heroes to being zeros. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I started in 2015, and basically there is no respect for truck drivers from shippers or receivers or anybody.
Right.
We are just the dog people that drive the truck and bring your goods to you. And if you want to keep us there for 24 hours, well, okay. And then your dispatch expects you to run because you've been down for 10 hours. Not that you've slept,
Right.
but that you've been down for the required 10 hours.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's quite the industry. And to be, propped up as heroes and to see what the people did, they came to distribution centers and they had barbecues for us out of the back of their trucks and stuff.
Right.
The only thing I got was a free sandwich and a bottle of water, but I still appreciated it because that never happens.
Okay, so you guys are the heroes, okay? And now, at the same time, correct me if I'm wrong, you'll walk into a Subway that you just delivered to their distributor 100,000 fucking frozen, disgusting fucking logs of fake bread.
Yes.
And then you're on the way home. You pull off over to maybe a Subway to stop and say, I got to go to the bathroom. I've been driving for, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And do those Subway, are you allowed to piss in there? Are you allowed to go to the bathroom?
Oh no, they had the doors barricaded. They threatened to call the police on me when I said, "Well, I'm going to have to go outside and pee outside in the back." They were seriously going to call the police on me. I went to the park. I had, already started. So, my seat was a little wet. I didn't know how to say that like respectfully to anybody, but and I had to crouch in the park and pee. I mean, like,
Wow.
do you want to talk about degrading somebody?
Mm-hmm.
That's degrading. And the whole time I'm in tears, and I called Rick Nichols' office, and I am in tears because McNaughton, who was our counselor, could never get a hold of him. He would never answer his phone. But Rick Nichols did, and his staff talked to me, and they calmed me down because I was hyperventilating. Like, I had to be in the park. I don't know how many people saw me. There could have been kids around. Like, it's just degrading.
But isn't that interesting, though? How you guys are, how the media spins things? Mm-hmm. I feel like Trump right now.
How do I like Trump right now?
I don't know. How are we going to spin this? But the media does it. It's all fake. It's all spun. Anyway, that was pretty good, right?
That was good.
But anyway, the media is painting you guys as heroes. You guys are essential. Everybody else can fuck off, but truckers, you have the green light. You can go and live your life. But in the shadows, you guys are pissing in parks.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was.
It's crazy.
And most of the shippers and receivers wouldn't let us in.
Oh, wow.
We didn't even talk to
So
people.
normally, if you go to drop off at a place, you can use their bathroom if you have to go.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
For the most part.
Yeah.
And so what they were doing was they were closing it off. You had to call their number or ring the doorbell. They'd give you a dock. You put the paperwork in the back and you backed up,
wow.
right? And they took it off. They signed the paperwork and they put it back in the back of the truck. You saw nobody.
Oh, wow.
You didn't interact with people. It was so bizarre. It was like, and
That's
now,
crazy.
and now it's still bizarre. There's still plexiglass everywhere. There's still, and it's today. We're 4 years later from the big 2022. We're 6 years from 2020.
Yeah.
Are people going to give this up?
It's
I mean,
almost
I'm
like
still
they're
seeing
preparing
people wear
for-
masks.
It's almost like they're preparing for something else to come later on.
Oh, now
But-
you're starting to sound like my best friend Jasmine.
So you're doing this. You're fed up. You've had enough now. This is bullshit. What happens? Take us through how you start the convoy, but we don't fucking know who you are.
Yeah, well, see, I had a big following on Facebook. My Facebook was 30 years, of contacts.
Don't take it personal for me. I was kicked off Facebook I had like 16 accounts on Facebook. So I don't even, I have accounts out there now that are
She's
still,
been canceled so many times.
I just kept making new ones because I kept getting kicked off. So
I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah. So if I didn't connect with you, it's crazy because we're kind of in the same area.
Yes.
That's just because I was kicked off.
Right.
It's not I'm sure you were well known. I'm just blown away that that this is new.
Well, it was. I told somebody to stop eating crayons, and I got kicked off for another 35 days. I was just like, because you couldn't call people stupid or dumb or whatever. You couldn't use those words. So I was trying to think of creative ways to say, you're maybe not based in reality. And I mean, maybe that would have worked. I don't know. Now that I think about it, that might have worked.
Yeah, maybe.
But instead, I told them not to eat crayons. And that was like now a total of 55 days suspension. So I was like, well, I'm social media out. Like, what do I do? Oh, that TikTok thingy where everybody dances. So here for the first little while, everybody's dancing. And then I see that little, circle at the top where you can actually search for people. So I start searching for truckers.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Right? Because that's the field I'm in, right? And that's the field I've advocated for forever.
Yeah.
We have a Bill of Rights for truckers that I helped create in 2016.
Okay.
So I've been an advocate in the industry for quite a while. And I come across people like Chris Barber. No, not right at first, but I come across him. And I start talking to him. No, we need a convoy.
Is the general message at this time between you and all these truckers that this is fucked and we have to do something and something has to change? Is it that yet, or?
Yeah, pretty much. So, around the November 16th, they're like, this is BS. We're going to lose our jobs. What do we do? And my house is a 2-trucker family.
Right.
Right. And my husband says to me, he goes, well, I'll go get the vaccine. And I'm like, then I'm moving next door because we have a duplex.
Right. You didn't want him shedding on you, did you?
That was it, right?
Yeah, right.
So I was like, well, then I guess I'm moving next door.
Yeah.
And he's like, really? And I'm like,
And then,
yeah. No,
and then he had to
seriously.
get a pocket pussy.
Should I tell that story?
Okay, so you go on TikTok, we find all the guys. They're all in the same headspace that you're in. We
Yeah.
need to do something. So how does it happen? Like, what goes on?
It's just literally I kept putting on TikTok, Convoy 2022, Convoy 22. And I kept putting it out there. Chris and I then had a conversation off, out of the public view.
Yep.
And he said, well, if you think this works, I'll go in. Well, by the end of the day, I'm sending him, hey, look, this person in your area, this person in your area, talk to this person in your area. And I'm connecting, right? And I'm connecting other people. I'm out there on TikTok. Like, I'm not, the blonde bombshell. I'm just a trucker, right? So my hair could be like, I haven't slept in 24 hours. I'm like, I really don't want to be on screen, but okay. Hey guys, I need somebody in Manitoba. I need somebody in Nova Scotia. I come across Maria. She's baking bread, trying to bridge the gap in her own neighborhood. And I can smell it. You can smell the bread. When it's baking, it brings you back those memories that your grandma did. And she's baking bread. And I'm like, Maria, we need to do something. So her and I start talking. So now I'm getting people.
Is Maria a trucker too?
No.
Okay.
She's retired at home,
Okay.
baking bread, trying to
Okay.
bridge gap in her community. And I'm like,
Okay.
these are the people I need. These are the solid heart people that I need. The people that have the real reason not to get vaccinated. We don't know enough.
Right.
We didn't know enough.
So you're networking at this point.
I am networking. That's something I was good at because I'd been networking. My mother showed me that with Fuller Brush when I was a kid. Then I went into Amway. I still do it with Melaleuca.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love those products.
Yeah.
So, I mean, networking isn't something I was unfamiliar with. And you had to do that when I owned a computer company with my ex-husband. So I'm used to networking.
You're a hustler just like me, baby. I can feel it.
Right? Got to get it done.
I can feel it.
You can't put all your eggs in one basket.
No, definitely not. Okay, that's so cool. So how fast? So this is around middle of November, towards the end of November.
Chris said yes, January 2nd.
Okay, so Chris says yes, January 2nd, and take us from January 2nd now.
So January 2nd, things start going. Chris and I are talking quite a bit on the phone. He calls me and he says, do you know who Glenn Carrot is? And I said, I have no idea who Glenn Carrot is. Why? Like, who is this guy? Well, he's ready to come into the convoy and blah, blah. I'm like, okay.
For the listeners that don't know, can you tell people who he is?
Well, I still don't know really who he is. So all I know is he's a guy out in Alberta, that got arrested at Coots. Like, I really don't know. He ran for mayor, I think of Inniskillen. So
Okay.
I really haven't had a personal contact
Okay.
with him.
Okay.
So I really don't know who he is.
Okay.
But apparently he was some big guy that had done maybe a convoy in the past.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
But then he didn't like some of the players that were coming in. And I'm like, well, look, I'm going to give everybody the benefit of the doubt until I have my own personal information. Why? Because I don't want to judge somebody based on something I don't know. You know, if you haven't wronged me, we're good.
Yep.
If you've wronged me, we're not okay.
Yep.
We're either going to mend that fence or I'm going to be done with you.
Yep.
So that's just the way I operate.
Me too. I like it.
Like it's pretty simple. You
Very
don't have
simple.
to guess where you
No.
are with me.
Yep.
You're either nice to me and I'm nice to you.
Yep.
Or you're an A. And
You can say asshole on this podcast.
okay, well, hey, there we go. They refused me to say that in some other ones. No, but
We
you're
encourage it.
you're an asshole. You know, I'm just I don't want to play. Right?
Yeah.
You get what you give to me.
Yep.
So if you've seen me say something mean about somebody online, they're getting what they give.
So did that guy stay with the convoy then? This big,
I
this
don't
big
know.
timer?
He was arrested in Alberta for coots.
Okay, at the coots, okay.
But I really never had
So
contact.
that was before the convoy
Barber.
started, right? The Coots thing? That happened before the convoy.
No, Coots was during the convoy while it was in Ottawa.
Oh, okay.
It kind of ran as
Right.
Its
two
own.
separate
Parallel.
entities.
That's right. Okay, okay. It was like at
Yeah.
the same time, but two different. Okay, I remember
That's like
that.
Windsor
Yeah, yeah.
was a separate entity
Yep.
as well.
Yep. Okay. Okay. So, now he agrees. It's early January. Bring me to like January 15th. Like, get us closer to the.
So, okay, about January 10th,
Okay.
Women in Trucking, we have a friend, a mutual friend, Kevin and I, and she reached out and said, hey, this guy's running a convoy during your dates. And I'm like, say what now? Right? So I'm like, no worry. I'm just going to contact him and tell him to change his dates. Because, like, I'm just so sure of myself. So I contact James Bowder and I say, you need to change your dates. And he goes, well, wait a minute. You know, maybe we can work together.
I like that. Okay.
Well, I'm not against it, but I'm not joining your group, right? Like,
She's got her own thing going on.
like I got my own thing, right?
If you want to
So-
come under my umbrella, we can talk.
Exactly.
Okay. So did you say
Right?
that?
Well, kind of. And I just said, well, okay. And he's like, well, I got everything. I can do everything. I've done this before and I got the cops in my back pocket and I got all the permits. And I'm like, look, I'm not going to make this decision on my own. I have my team. My team and I are going to talk about it. And he goes, well, and Pat King's trying to get a hold of you. And I was like, well, I sent him a message to, you know, promote my convoy already. So he goes, well, I'll get him on the phone. So now it's me and James. They're singing this great song. We're all unity, love. You know, I could feel, you know, that, you know, we are the world, you know, kind of going off in my head going, this is great, right? And, yeah, no, that's not how it went. So I just, we agreed to work together, not for either one. At the time, that was the agreement. And I brought my guys in. We had a big podcast and, you know, we talked about it. And I think it was Joe Jensen that said, yeah, let's go to Ottawa instead of changing the actual idea, which was to do the CBSA and go to each city and do slow rolls, right?
Okay.
It would have cost us less in the long run to do the slow rolls. It would have affected not the whole city of Ottawa.
Right.
We would have never parked in downtown, which we
Right.
were never supposed to anyway.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no, we were supposed to have parking.
Okay.
And I kept complaining we didn't have enough parking. And I kept being told, don't worry, it's all taken care of. And they kept saying it was at this park. And I was like, I was a resident for 30 years in Ottawa. Like, you can't park trucks there. You must mean Andrew Hayden, right? Like, we're just going to go down. That would have been a great little route to come down and around. I was told, don't worry, they snowplow it for us the last time. They'll do it again. Awesome. So everything I was told was an absolute lie. Never happened, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
and-
don't go too far. Don't go too far because we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
Stay on a timeline. So so Chris Barber gets involved now.
He was on the second.
He was on the second, and then you
The
were talking.
10th.
Okay, so now
The 14th, I get a text message from Tamara Leach that she is at my service.
okay, so now to the public listening to this, that's who to me again until we get connected. I feel like that's who started the convoy.
That's
So
who a lot
you're
of people
telling-
think
so
started
yeah,
the
the face of
convoy.
So
it.
you're telling me
Yeah.
that 3 or 4 months after you started the convoy, then you hear from Tamara, and she's like, "Hey, girl, what's up? I'm at your service. What do you need?"
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And she says, you know, the first thing she's asking me is, did you do a fundraiser yet? And I'm like, no, we don't need one. And then she's like, well, how about social media? Like, well, we're doing it. Well, no, you need a centralized, and you need a fundraiser. And I'm like, well, okay, well, we're doing a Zoom call. And she goes, well, I just jumped out of the shower. I'm like, well, you better get on the Zoom call if you want to help in that capacity.
So, question, I hate to interrupt you, but did you know her before this?
I had no idea who she was.
So how does she get in touch with you? She just social
She
media?
just random woman that sent me a text message.
Was she a trucker?
She's not a trucker.
So what's her background? What's her
How does she get
affiliation?
your
How
number?
did she,
Like, is that I'm all about conspiracies. I just want to know, is it weird that she just got your number, or is
Yeah.
it not weird?
Yeah, well, I mean, my number was out there on flyers everywhere.
Okay.
Especially on my TikTok. But there's a lot of confusion on where she came from. She
Okay.
could have come through Chris Barber, because when I talked to him, he said it was an annoying woman that just kept texting him saying she could help.
Interesting.
That's not what she says in her book. And then Pat King says, no, she contacted him. So I don't know. Was she playing all of us, trying to contact us to get
Interesting.
involved? I don't know.
what does
Okay.
she say in her book?
In her book, she says she came in through Glen Carrot, and then with...
Who's the big guy in Alberta that got arrested at Coots, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
and Glenn introduced her to Chris. But I don't know if that's accurate.
Okay.
So, I'm not going to...
Hey, Erica Kirk doesn't know how she met Tyler Boyer. I mean, I don't know.
Where are her kids, by the way? I've never seen them again.
Yeah, I don't know either. They've been with Glenn Beck on
Maybe.
occasion, apparently, and maybe his family, maybe Charlie's family. I don't know, but I'm just saying there's weird
Missing in
people,
action.
People that say like, I don't know how I met them. It's always weird to me because I can fucking pretty much tell you like anybody and where. You know what I mean? Like,
Do you want
it's
the
a weird
weirdest
thing.
statement of Convoy?
Okay.
Okay. So we're at the POEC, and I hear this statement come out of a lawyer's mouth, and I'm like, I can't believe we hired this guy. He's asked, how do you know who the leader of Freedom Convoy is? How did you know who the leader was? He goes, my brain told me. I was like, are you kidding me?
That's your lawyer,
Well,
like
it was.
the convoy lawyer.
JCCF lawyer.
Oh, okay, Justice-
Keith Wilson,
okay.
Tamara's lawyer.
Yeah, okay.
And the one that I guess later Chris said was, didn't give him good advice. But yeah, so
No, who was that other lawyer? Can someone tell me the guy, the big guy that's the head of that thing?
Miller,
No.
Brendan Miller.
No, the other guy, the guy that was like, no, come on, I can't.
Galati?
The one that we were gonna sign. The one that we were.
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say-
No, Galati. It was Italian
Yeah,
guy.
But that's not. Is that his name?
Something.
Shit,
I
anyway,
feels like
never mind,
Galati,
forget it.
but
I'll have
I
to
don't know.
think about it. That's weird, right?
It was like constitutional
Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
freedoms,
Okay.
something. Anyways,
Anyway,
Okay.
whatever, doesn't matter. I had a point to it, but if I don't know his name, it won't matter. But he seemed sus. At the end, people were like, a whole bunch of people signed on to do lawsuits with him, and it all crumbled. Remember, he like went in the hospital and he was like dying, and everyone was like, he's being poisoned, and they gave him the heart attack gun. Remember, everyone was freaking out, and then it turned out that he like just took a lot of people's money, and nothing ever fucking happened.
Oh,
and it
geez.
seems like there's a lot of that stuff going on, and you have to ask yourself, are these guys involved? Were they there to be some kind of like, distraction to get all these people involved in these lawsuits, and then he just fucked everything up?
Well, ask me, like, if you're asking my opinion, I want to know how Tamara Leach went from at my service to being the spark that lit the fire by her lawyer's own admission, right?
Mm-hmm.
To being, well, I don't know, my brain told me, to, in her book, well, all Bridget wanted was credit. Well, I'm sorry. When you give birth to something, and then
Yeah.
your ex-boyfriend walks in with his new girlfriend and grabs your baby and walks out and says thanks, and you won't see them again,
Yeah.
I think you're going to get upset about that.
She's like an older, less attractive Erica Kirk, I guess, in this situation, kind of, right?
Well, I mean,
Like, if she could, like, is she a plant?
I don't know. Rebel News wants her to be the next Charlie Kirk. I hope it doesn't go that way for her, as much as I don't like her. But
well,
Interesting.
before we even started recording, we were talking to you in our kitchen about like how it led to you birthing the convoy because of your experience as a trucker.
Yes.
And all of the issues that you experienced down in the States because you did international driving. And so all the frustrations, the moments of constant turmoil and just like wanting to give up and just so much panic and frustration that you were experiencing was what led you to creating something.
My own personal pain.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where it came from.
Well, and I mean, I guess if you listen to the POAC, her personal pain was watching her grandfather not being able to have coffee with friends.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not sure how planning your death and your demise, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, I guess, you know, which one is worse, watching grandpa not being able to have coffee with friends, or literally planning your death, having those conversations with people. I mean, death is kind of one of those little topics that kind of freak me right out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, which is better, a box or cremation? Like, will I get eaten by bugs or will I blow away in the wind? Like, I'm sure the woman thought I was crazy, but I was literally trying to figure out what my end of life was at that point. And my husband and I had just been married in April of 21.
He's like, fuck, I hope the life insurance is okay. She's going to off herself. I hope I'm not screwed out of this so quickly.
One of my things was, oh my gosh, my ex-husband is on as my beneficiary.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, he's not getting nothing. I am making sure that Kevin is on there. Well,
Before we call maid, guys, make sure you change everything. Make sure you get all the documents in order.
Yeah,
'cause
before
they
you
move
get remarried,
fast.
make sure you take care of that, okay? Because I didn't. And I'm like trying to go on to the bank statements and going, okay, benefit. Oh, I can't. I got to make an appointment. Are you kidding me? I'm dying tonight, and you want me to make an appointment for next week.
And by the way, you can't go in next week because
I don't have a mask.
you don't have a mask. So good luck.
Like, just is so bizarre, the things that you go through.
You couldn't kill yourself even if you wanted to
It was
because of that. That's
actually
so crazy, man.
It was literally the beneficiaries and my want to make sure that he was okay.
That's so crazy.
That stopped it.
That's so crazy. Okay.
stopped it.
So that's so crazy. Okay, so Tamara comes in. I'm at your service. You don't know how the fuck she got your number, but she shows up and you're reluctant, but
I'm too trusting, I guess. You know, I'm like, oh, everybody's here to help. Everybody's here.
But that was the feeling of Convoy.
Well, that was hope, right? It was exciting. Everybody's coming together, right? You're trying to work together. It's a movement.
By the time, listen, again, I hate to like always say we were done, but by the time, and I'm not saying you didn't work hard at the beginning because I'm sure you did, but me, and then later her, but me, from like 6 weeks on, I was at every weekend protest. I was at every single, from 2020 all the way through. And when Convoy came, we just bought this farm. I was so exhausted that I literally went to the bridges. And then I said, all of our friends who were kind of slowly coming around, they were like, are you coming to Ottawa? And I was like, no.
No, man, we're farming now. We've done our job. We've been protesting.
Now. It's your turn. Like, I am exhausted. I need, like, now it's your fucking turn. So I was I was delighted to see people because I was just so exhausted
You missed
by
Woodstock.
that. I know. I'm
sorry. You missed Canada's Woodstock.
I know. You know what? It was, like I said, we just bought this farm. It was a crazy transition period for us. And we'd been through so much with this that we were just like, I need to turn over a page now.
Right.
And I do regret, one of my regrets will be not going, but to be honest, it was just where we needed to be at the time. But I know I missed one hell of a fucking
just us standing at the bridge when the truckers were going by was like, we just had tears.
All the people, it was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Even the cops, like there was such a divide. Like I'm conservative. I've always loved police. I wanted to be a police officer, but I'm too fucking crazy probably. I just knew that they would be like, I'd fail the psych evaluations. I didn't bother. But like, I hated cops at that point in time. And then to see those OPP on those crossings and they were like, yeah, like they loved it.
Supporting.
They were so supportive. It was like, it gives me goosebumps right now just thinking about it.
When Sarnia, when we did our slow rolls, so the slow rolls were to show that the West was coming east.
Okay.
Right? And to show that there was continued support.
Okay.
So that the government could see.
Yeah.
We had
coming.
support.
Yeah.
Whether you were coming from east to center Ottawa, or you were coming from the west to Ottawa. We were all moving.
Right.
We were all ready to join. We were all ready to come together, right?
Right.
That maybe scared the Ottawa, but it was the visual that needed to happen. It was happening in
Right.
every town, every
Right.
city,
Yep.
in unison.
So
Yep.
whose idea was, like, how did that come about?
I asked that we run
Okay.
and in unison. I wanted us to start on the Sunday. There was some advocates, but it's church day. I understand that,
Mm-hmm.
but in order to keep the general public safe that doesn't know what we do for a living, we need to teach them on the quiet day,
Right.
which is Sunday.
Fair enough.
We teach them, they follow the rules, we have our mishaps on Sunday, the rest of the week goes smooth.
Right.
Right.
Some didn't agree with that because of course it was church day. So
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. But we had to train the public to
Dude, that was
drive
like church
us.
for a lot of people, though.
It
right?
was.
Like going to that was like, if we were going to church avidly at the time, and it was like, oh, fuck that, like that's fine. Jesus wants us to go there, so
Well,
Jesus will understand.
As far as I know, Jesus created everything, and it doesn't matter where you have your prayer.
Yeah.
And we prayed.
Church
before
is
we
the
drove.
people.
Yeah.
The church is the
Right.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't need you to tithe at our event either. You could
Yeah.
come. It didn't cost you a thing.
Yep.
You could just come, right?
Yeah. Okay, so January 15th, she gets involved. Things are rolling. You do your
14th.
14th. You do your slow. When is the slow rollout happening? Is that around
The
that?
slow roll starts on the 22nd.
Okay, so slow rolls starts
yeah,
on 22nd.
because BC leaves, and so
Right.
does Newfoundland.
Okay. So everybody's heading into Ottawa about 22nd, 23rd, 24th.
They're heading to.
They're heading to.
And my granddaughter was born on the 29th of January,
Oh, wow.
right? And we're from Ottawa, the area.
Okay.
And so I needed to leave on the 27th, 28th. And
Leave here, like Ontario, like Southern Ontario, or
they're in Ottawa.
but where were you?
I live in Wallaceburg, right?
Okay,
so
so-
I'm in
okay.
Wallaceburg.
Yep.
But I took Sarnia because
Okay.
we already had ADT down in Windsor.
Yep.
And I'll let the companies deal with it and, do their logistics. That's what these guys do, right? So I don't need to be in there telling everybody what to do.
Right.
I'm like, get me your plan so I can give it to the OPP. That's all I need to do.
Yeah.
Right? You guys are truckers. You're business owners. Niagara was Harold Yonker. He's a business owner. Tell me he can't plan a route.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right? If the route went bad, that's on you, Harold.
Yeah.
Right? You
Right.
do logistics for a living.
Right.
If the route bad on Windsor, that was on Ben. Everybody's routes. If there was an issue, I'm sorry, Bridget had to do her own
Yeah.
thing and deal with
Yeah.
Sarnia as well as the rest of Canada that was calling. So I was kind of a little busy, right? So yeah, that's what we did. We got together and we each did our own area, and we sent that information to myself, and I sent it off to OPP. Okay. And OPP was actually really good. Getting back to the police thing, when we had an incident in Sarnia where I kept telling cars that you cannot go so slow, and they're like, "But it's a slow roll," and I'm like, "The police have given us permission to go 10 under,
Okay.
not 40 under."
Right. Right.
And when you come off the ramp as a truck driver in Sarnia, it dips down and you cannot see the on ramp.
Gotcha.
And this is what my biggest
So
fear
your fear
was.
is that we're gonna have a back because they're gonna be going so slow. They'll be coming off
Right.
at it. Okay.
So I'm security, I'm safety, I'm thinking ahead. And what happens?
Shit's-
We
that's
get a
what happened.
minivan with kids in the back.
Oh, shit.
And 2 women in the front get smashed by a transport. So I pull everybody off the road. I am hot.
I remember that. Do you remember that? Remember when they got
No, I
pulled
don't.
off the road?
No.
I was hot under the
remember that.
collar. I'm like, if you're not going to listen, we're going home.
Mm-hmm.
And the officer, Officer Brian, had said to me, "It's a good day. Nobody's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's walking away. It's a good day.
Yeah.
Let it go."
Right.
And I'm like, but they need to know how serious. Since 2015, I've seen accidents everywhere. I know what the road could look like. I wanted these people to understand. People could die if we didn't do it right.
Yeah.
And so I said to him, we talked. I said, okay. And I turned back to everybody. I said, if we're willing to follow the rules, we can continue to go. And everybody agreed, and away we went. Did that happen? Did everybody follow the rules? No. But I do the best I can.
Yep.
And all I can do is say, this is what we're supposed to do. Please.
These are the guidelines. Just try to do the best to follow. Right.
Has GoFundMe happened yet?
No, the GoFundMe, when we first talked about it in that meeting on the 14th, I wanted individual placards for truck drivers, give to that.
Right.
And I was outvoted, saying that was too much work.
So is that individual placards for each trucker means that if I was making a donation, I'm donating to one guy in particular, Chris Barber, Pat King, you, Jihad, whatever, Gurdeep Singh, whatever. Okay.
We had them, and they were great people.
Okay. And then they said no. And then Tamara said, no, we want to do one big GoFundMe for everybody. And then we'll distribute money.
Yeah.
Okay. So what day does that happen?
That's the 14th.
That's the 14th.
During the, I'm telling her to get clothes on because we have a Zoom meeting about fundraising.
It happens that night. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the slow rolls out. Everybody's moving. We're getting closer to Ottawa. Take us into Ottawa now. Truckers are there. We're rolling in.
Yeah, we actually got delayed coming in on the 416. There was a tanker that overrolled. Okay. So we were asked to hold up. We did. Absolutely. And then we came in, and I was starting to get worried because we did come in a day early. As per the police, they didn't want us to go through Toronto on a Friday afternoon. Don't blame them.
Yeah.
So we're going into Ottawa, and the bridges that were full are now empty. And I'm like, oh boy.
So why you think no one's there? Oh, I see what you mean. The overpasses.
Yeah, the overpasses.
Okay.
The glow stick lights aren't there. The Canadian flags aren't there. As soon as we got off the 401, and of course we're a day early to the west, right?
Yep.
But the west is going to arrive an arm prior. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, oh boy.
So you're thinking you've got no support in Ottawa, basically.
I think we're having no support in Ottawa.
Okay.
And it was just miscommunication. So James Bowder, who was supposed to help and, create the website for us and that, he refused to change the date from the 20.
Too much work.
I guess. I don't know. We had many conversations about it. And he's like, well, this and that. And I'm like, it's this date. So I really worked hard with Kevin Mitchell to try and get the right information. The times were wrong. Everything was wrong for Southwestern Ontario. And I was so frustrated trying to get it done and trying to get the information out. Kevin Mitchell was great. He was a PPC candidate for our area. And he did a great job trying to get the right information out. He goes, people keep telling me I'm wrong. And he goes, and I'm talking right to you. Right. And I'm like, I know.
Was he the guy from London West or London?
No, he Chatham Kent.
Oh, okay. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Okay, so then you get in. Obviously, there's miscommunication, but then you get in, and the next day, is there support start building, and you're like, oh shit. Okay.
We start seeing that. But so we drive in that day, and we've got overhead signs saying so that the maps that we were given. We were supposed to go all the way down and then down into the downtown. And I was like, this makes no sense. I don't know why we're doing this. Andrew Hayden Park is over here. We could just go down and come around. Again, I'm very familiar with Ottawa. So I know the truck routes. I know where we could park. I know where we can't park. But we're told to go.
Who's telling you? Who's saying what the rules are around where you're supposed to go? Who's telling you that?
We get the map, which was actually held by Tamara. I don't know why.
Another interesting.
Yeah, she held the maps back.
The maps that have the routes on them.
The maps that have the routes on them.
Interesting.
So we almost get them too late.
Okay.
But I believe it was Jason LaFace that actually forwarded me the map, and I'm like, oh, thank God. So now I have the map. But when we get into Ottawa, onto the Queensway, it's all of a sudden we have to get off. And I'm like, what are they doing? They're routing us onto the Parkway. Well, I used to drive from Britannia all the way up to Parliament Hill as a child on my bike. I'm like, this is a non-commercial route. Why are we on a non-commercial route?
So did you think that was a setup or something? Or
I thought it was very strange because on the parkway is the buses usually. So are they cutting off all the buses? What are they doing? So when we get to the war museum,
Yep.
we're at a stop. We've got stuff blocked out in front of us. And we're told that's it. Can't go any further. So I'm like, okay, guys, what do you think? Is this okay? Are you satisfied with this location? We can always walk up. It's really not that far. Couple of blocks, right? Maybe three city blocks.
Okay. To where you ultimately wanted to be.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but not really, because we were supposed to go in and come out and not park in front of Parliament Hill at all. We were never supposed to be there.
Okay, wait, what?
Yeah, I want you just to go over that because from the beginning, it sounds like it was never to go and stay there. It was to create the convoy with the slow rolls to build the traction to get the support.
But then it sounds like somehow you guys got stuck there. It was like you're going to stay there now. You're not moving. You're staying.
Like it was staged.
Because there were barriers and the police left us there and said, this is it.
This is your place.
They
Interesting.
blocked everything off. So even if we wanted to do slow rolls in and out of the city continuously,
You couldn't.
we couldn't.
So if I pulled in, like, say I'm like one of the first 10 trucks just for fun, am I fucked? Like, what if I have I had to leave in 2 days? Like, I'm not getting out.
Pretty much. You'd have to work really hard with the police that were there
To move barricades.
move other trucks, and other trucks were not moving. Some came in even the day before us.
Oh wow.
Okay, and when they came in, they took front and center
Right.
of Parliament Hill, and they started blocking the road themselves. So I don't even know
So,
who those guys were.
Is it just that I'm not trying to like be a conspiracy theorist, even though I am. Is it possible that those trucks put themselves there on purpose? Is that possible?
Well, I mean, if the stage is going to be there, if things are going to be there, you want to be known, right?
Yeah.
What a great way to get your truck
Oh,
known.
it's very planned. That was all very planned and staged.
It seems like for you to have been kind of like the go-to man to not even have the map until like the day before, like that seems like something's kind of going on behind your back. I feel bad because I feel like you're kind of like Charlie Kirk. I feel like you kind of don't know that you're
I'm
like...
Claudette Kelvin.
Huh?
Claudette Kelvin.
I know, but right now I'm in the Charlie Kirk thing, so everything has to kind of get
Oh, my
related to that for me.
goodness.
But I know that you think that you're Claudette and that like Rosa Parks got I get that, but in today's world, I think you're Charlie Kirk because you're having this like conspiracy
I don't
going
wanna be
around you.
shot.
I know. And you didn't get shot, so you're okay. But you have this conspiracy of people around you, it seems like, that are planning things and they're telling you only certain things, and they've got this other agenda that you don't really seem to know about.
I don't know anything about.
At some
So
point,
that
it sounds
seems-
like it was taken over.
Well, so on the 29th, we go up to a room. I get a message from Tamara Leach. And we go up to a room, and there's a whole bunch of people in there. I have no idea who are, except for Chris, myself, Joe, Dale, Ryan. There's two people there I've never met. One is Sean Thiessen, and the other is Miranda Court. And there's Tamara. And Tom Quiggin sits in the chair and looks directly at Tamara and says, "This is all because of you." And she smiles and grins from ear to ear. So when she says that she told everybody who I was, I can testify on my grandchildren's head. She did not. And she didn't say a thing. I looked over at Chris and I'm like.
So she basically doesn't introduce you she doesn't correct anybody. And,
No.
and apparently nobody in this room knows that you're the like head honcho, if you will.
No. And Chris Barber and I looked at him and he's like,
Calm down. Because he obviously knows.
he's in on
Who
it.
you are.
He's absolutely in on it at this point.
In on it with her.
Oh, absolutely. It
It's
has
been
to
hijacked.
be.
It's
It
been
has
hijacked.
to be.
So he's telling you to calm down because he knows
Calm
you're
down.
pissed.
Right.
Because he knows the truth because he's been talking to you since day
Right.
one.
Exactly. So we go downstairs and he says this to me. I said, this can't happen. And I mean, had I stood up right there in that room, it could have squashed it right then and there. But I'm not one to make a scene. And I didn't
See, that's
know
where you
who
and
those-
me differ. That's where you and me differ. I'm fucking great at making a scene.
I should have had you with me. Like,
I'm
where
great
you
at that.
decided to farm instead of have my back, girl.
I got your back. Next
Okay, well,
time
you
you
got
got
my
a
back
meeting
now.
like that, Call me. I'm there. I'm great at that shit.
All right, you got my back.
Okay.
I got it. All right, next
Yeah.
time you're gonna be sorry you said that.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I love confrontation. I live for it. I want it. I ask for it, and I don't get it a lot. But
I literally hate confrontation, but I have had a lot of confrontations since Convoy. And it's just because people don't know the true story. They don't know the real story.
Yeah.
And when they find out, it goes from, you weren't the person that started Convoy to, oh, well, what does it matter? I'm like, well, it mattered to you 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, right. It mattered when you thought I was
calling me a
hijacking it.
liar.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris takes you downstairs, tells you to calm the fuck down.
Yeah,
and
and he
then-
says, look, don't cause division. Don't cause drama. We're here for unity. And I'm like...
You're just grinding your teeth right now. Okay.
I'm like, I see your point.
Yeah.
I see your point.
Is this the first time you'd met her in person, by the way? or-
Well, when she parked the truck with Chris and she came in with Chris and she jumped out to go to the
so they
bathroom,
came together.
I did the girly thing. I went with
Okay.
her.
Oh, okay.
Right? So it's actually the second time I've met her personally. Oh, third, because we met in Arm Prior. So
As a woman, first time you met her, how was your vibes? What was your vibe?
I was
check?
like, why is she being whisked away by Danny Bulford and James, Joseph Bergault.
And who were they? They were other organizers, or
Joseph Bergault's the one that dropped all the money for the hotel rooms.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
And Danny Bulford is RCMP.
So just for the people that don't know, because I did have a friend, I'm not going to name names, but I had a friend that was, we can talk about it later, but that was involved in it all. And I personally was thinking, I got to be honest, I felt bad because I was like, oh man, like she's been there like 3-4 weeks. How can she afford that? Like, that's crazy. So you're telling me that all of the hotels were paid for by a guy
Yeah.
to put all you guys up and have
Yeah.
showers and everyone could stay clean and maybe
A Saskatchewan businessman, yeah. Who later ran for the Conservative Party leadership.
Did you? But okay,
Wow.
okay.
That's wild.
So again, like I'm just
Oh,
gonna ask:
yeah.
is that weird?
Yeah.
Right?
I think it's weird.
That's weird.
I think it's weird.
Okay.
You
And
know,
I mean, it could just be a nice guy that loved the cause. But
You know-
like again, if you weren't staying, you were doing a slow roll. Why is there a guy with a lot of money who's going to try to win the Conservative leadership and he's going to pay thousands and thousands?
I think he dropped $1 million at least.
Okay.
Well, when it went from just the convoy, the slow rolls, to all of a sudden you're parking, you're staying
front
long
of
term,
Parliament Hill.
GoFundMe now starting, all this money's flying in because now it's bringing in all this hope and people are getting excited and it's a movement,
Right.
right? So now it feels like it got hijacked.
Well, and you know, but I'm agreeing with Chris. I don't want the outside to see that, you
you
know,
got-
there's
yeah.
there's friction already.
Right.
That somebody is not correcting people.
Yep.
And then I get told on the February 3rd news conference that I can't go in because I'm not vaccinated. Isn't this what this whole thing was for?
Right.
But did Tamara go in?
Well, yes, because that's where the lawyer said she was the spark that lit the fire. And that's where my sword finally fell.
So was she vaccinated?
Well, she says, some say she says she's not. Rupa says that she is. I don't know.
Interesting.
It's a lot of questions around
Okay.
her.
You know,
So
I have a
interesting.
lot of questions, but I get ignored when I ask them. And when anybody else that asks them, they either get blocked, deleted, or, you know, I have people on X that have literally blocked me and I've never talked to them. They have just done a podcast with Tamara Leach and Chris Barber. And I'm just like, really? You've never even spoken to me,
So just
and you're
silencing.
preemptively
Yeah.
blocking me.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Can I just ask though, like,
all right.
what is
Keep
it?
us on track here?
You're a
She's like,
great
"I got
storyteller.
questions."
She's just such a great storyteller, and I just want to know what it was like for you, the experience of driving, and the movement and the connections, and like getting into Ottawa. Like, can you just share what that felt
I
like?
was in tears more times than I had dry eyes.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Because for me, you know, I hear a lot of, it's starting already. I hear a lot of people say, you guys saved me.
Oh yeah.
And I look at
100%.
them and go, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You saved me.
Yeah.
And they did. They saved me.
Definitely.
Because remember, I was the one going to change my beneficiary,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
they saved me as much as they feel we saved them.
Right.
And when I stopped in Napanee, I got a letter from the Neufeld family about their daughter who was going to be a midwife, but she couldn't do the new normal and took her life. And I thought, of all the people in this parking lot, why did I get that letter? Why was it me that got that letter? Because I sat there and bawled that night.
Yeah.
You know, and my pickup truck, Kevin Mitchell was so great. I called him, I said, my truck won't turn over. Do you know anything about trucks? And he says, your pickup truck? I'm like, yeah, it won't turn over. And he's like, I'm on it. He came over, he put a new battery in because my battery had frozen.
Oh, wow.
And then we went and did the podcast and stuff, and together he got window markers for me. He's like, you just keep rolling. I'll get whatever you need. I'll take care of it all. Him and his family were fantastic. They got me flags because I wasn't even thinking of any of that. I mean, like, what? We need billboards? What do you mean? We're trucks.
Right.
You can't see the truck?
Yeah, right.
Like,
So
and I'm
true.
watching all these other guys, and I'm like, wow, I feel really bad because, like, I didn't even think of any of that. I was too busy worried about the knapsack lunches people were asking me about. I says, you want to see a guy fall to his knees? I said, you give him a lunch and put a crayon drawing from a child.
Oh, my God.
Right? Now, how many videos have you seen online where the guys and the girls from Convoy are going, look at,
That's
from
so true.
3-year-old,
Oh my
right?
gosh.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
kept saying, I don't know if we
got
can do
goosebumps,
that
like-
on the lunch bags because we just had a big craft with lunch bags. And I'm like, figure it out. I'm sure you can find the
Yeah.
lunch bags, right?
Right.
Yep.
I said, but if you want to see a 6-foot guy fall to his knees and cry, you give him a drawing from a child.
Yeah.
And they did it. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, and I have some crayon drawings too. And I've got some friendship bracelets that were sent to
Aw.
me. And, but I mean, that was pure
Pure love.
accident,
Oh.
Yeah, that's so cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
Forget
yeah.
about those little
No, it's
like, right?
true.
Those
You're
were
right to
all
bring it
so
up because
profound.
we were all so fucking like dead. We were just all so hollowed out and tired,
Drained.
and like we just felt like we had nothing.
I know when we went down to the overpass, like we were there with friends and we had all signs and Canadian flags and everybody was honking. It was just like constant tears
Yeah.
because there was just like so much hope and people are doing
But
something.
you
Like,
guys remember that day? It was like -30.
Oh,
like,
yes.
I remember specifically that we were so cold, but no one fucking cared. You know, like that's what was crazy to me.
Well, my battery did stop working, but also the heat in my pickup truck stopped working. So I literally went from Sarnia to Ottawa
With no heat.
with no heat. I was in a snowsuit
oh my
with my snowsuit open. And of course, to keep from the condensation building up in the car, you had to blow, the defrost, which was cold air.
Right.
God.
So I've got a hat on, I got like stuff, and then every time I take pictures, I take it off. My hair's like out to here, and I look like I've been run over, like I'm just roadkill, and I'm like, but look at all these people. I remember going into the Pilot Flying J in London. I had never seen so many people in that place, ever.
wow.
Like ever. I'm in the bathroom and they're like, oh my God, it's Bridget. And I'm like, yeah, but I got to pee. Can you wait a second? Right. And we had a wonderful group of older women give me a bag of $10 bills with a little prayer card, and they were all done in little plastic baggies. So I made sure my guys got that because everything seemed to be going to the hill. Right.
Right.
So I brought them down and I handed them out to the guys that were down at the museum, right? Make sure that they got something because they didn't get a lot. And then we had a little bit left over, so I threw it back into the regular pot for everybody else. But yeah, I mean, it was wonderful. I don't think I've ever had my picture taken in a bathroom so often.
That's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just time is flying. We're already over an hour in. So,
I told you I could talk.
I know. And listen, you might be out talking me, which I don't like. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so Chris tells you to calm down. Right?
Yeah.
Is that where we are?
Let it go.
Okay. So now
Let it
what
go.
happens?
So then, slowly and surely, you see things getting divided. She's taken over this press conference. She's missing in action most days, unless there's a camera there or a video crew. You don't see her.
So she's up in the hotel chilling.
Which one? I mean, she had
Right.
the ARC, she had Swiss, and she had the Marriott. I think she had a room there as well as the
Come on.
Sheraton.
Really?
I mean, like, I don't know. That's pretty princess to me. I was like, I was driving back and forth for the first few days from my family home into
So you
into
could see your
Ottawa.
granddaughter? Is that,
Yeah.
Is that why?
So
Okay.
my granddaughter was born on the 29th. But no, I never planned on having a room. I was like, I'm going back and forth. We're supposed to be taking care of ourselves,
Right.
right? Like, why is this person taking care of us? I don't understand.
So has
know-
the money already started to roll in by this point? Like
Oh,
on
like we're
GoFundMe?
in Ottawa. Like we're
It's-
already up at 10 million. The first bank account is already frozen because Tamara failed to put it into a bank account that was a business or a non-for-profit account.
Right. She just put it in a personal.
And the TD's like, no, you can't have that. Like, this doesn't look good. And there's like $1 million in here. Oh, sorry.
Right.
Right.
Wow.
And then we discover at the POEC, I don't know what date the transfer happened, but that could have been what tipped them off. Is she had moved like 140,000, somewhere around that number. I'm not gonna put the pin on that number into one of those accounts that you can't take or receive. You've got to transfer in and out of your own accounts, and she moves that into a separate account. Why would you do that? Is that for you? Because you're keeping that separate from the pot.
Yeah, that's my cut, bitch.
I'm like, I don't know. Like, what was that for?
Right.
Speculation. That's where I'm at. I'm at speculation, right? I can't ever say that I was in her head and know what she was thinking, but I know what
I know
I'm
what she's
thinking.
thinking. I'm thinking that's my fucking money. That's what I'm fucking thinking.
Right.
I'm a hustler, baby. I'm always,
Right.
where's my cut? But
Well, and
like,
then,
it's not that's,
Yeah.
I'm a hustler. So I know how I'm thinking that way, right? But
Right.
like in that particular situation,
Yeah.
it's
And
not
then so
really called for.
even after that, I get a message from Tamara that says, you have a press conference. I said, yeah, in about 15 minutes. She goes, cancel it. I said, why? She says to me, we decided before we even turned a wheel who was going to be the spokesperson. And you need to be quiet because otherwise they'll include you in a $3.2 million lawsuit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I just like, what?
Okay, so at this point, like, okay, let me just try to like feel this out. Is she? Obviously, she's fucked you. Okay, like I'm not disputing that. But
Okay.
is this
I'll agree.
is this her way of like kind of trying to keep you out of trouble because there's another scam, there's another thing on the outside here, and she's like, hey, basically, I fucked you over, I stole this from you, but if you fuck off right now, you might be saved from being included in this lawsuit, like because I'm the one who's supposed to take the fall for this.
Hey, if that's the thing, she can quite honestly take me off the $460 million lawsuit I am listed in. I mean, if she wants to take the credit for it, take all the
Interesting.
credit.
So who filed that other law? Are you allowed to say who was that lawsuit is against?
that was the citizens of Ottawa.
Oh, so
Yeah,
the
yeah.
citizens of Ottawa are suing. That's right. So they're
Yeah.
suing you and a whole bunch of other people.
Yes.
And you're named on that.
Yes.
But that's interesting because if you weren't part of it, then why aren't... Okay, so interesting. So you're not named in this one.
But I didn't do that interview, so take my name off tomorrow. Like you promised me
That
if I
is
shut up.
interesting. That is
Interesting. So she tells you to cancel and I'll take your name out because you don't want to be included in this. You don't do the press conference, but you're included in it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did converse with my husband. I said, look, what do? I got, I think it was 5 minutes to
Yep.
when I sent them the message going, yeah, I was just threatened. I can't be on your show. And, after that, the news stations, I think it was Newsmax, kept saying, we're going in a different direction. We're going in a different direction.
Meaning Tamara.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's, and, but if you look at her and her books, she's done very well. But she has all the political backers. She has all the
Yes, she
news
does.
backers. She has the media sewn up. And that's because I backed off. And, maybe I shouldn't have.
If you could do it again, would you do the press conference?
Oh, if I would do it again, she would have been out on the 29th.
That night,
when
that
that
night
night,
at
yeah.
the meeting,
Absolutely.
the initial Ottawa meeting, you would have been like, get the fuck
That is
outta
my
here.
regret. I would have stood up right there and then and went, I think you all have the wrong idea what's going on here, and let me fill you in.
Yeah.
I definitely, that is my biggest regret, was to let that small one slide.
Right.
Because by letting that small one slide, I believe that was the test.
Yep.
Is she going to say
Right.
something? Can
Right.
we gaslight her enough
Right.
to be quiet?
Yep.
And it has been said to me from others that are still involved with the Freedom Corp that they were told not to worry. Chris could handle me.
Oh, wow.
Well, how can you handle me now, bud? My book is out.
Well, let's just talk about what you've written as a result. Consequences inside the Freedom Convoy. Can you tell us about how this came about and like?
I guess we're just going
Frustration.
to have to do a part 2 because you have another book coming out, right?
We're going to have a couple actually because I am being sued for the $460 million.
Yeah.
I couldn't put out all the details, but the next book, the read between the lines is not going to be reading between the lines. You're going to be able to read it for yourself. So it will
Yeah,
be
okay.
timeline. I mean, I was told by a certain guy named Chris that I wasn't even in Ottawa. Well, it's very funny because I'm tracked so my husband can find me in an emergency. Well, I was tracked every day in Ottawa. I
Yeah.
could tell you where I was in Ottawa, and I will.
You got receipts.
In the next book.
Yeah.
So, but I had to kind of chop up the books. I've been asked not to put this book out. I had people ask me not to put the first book out, to write everything and put it all together. And I was like, no, I can't do that. I had many people come to me and say, look, we'll even pay for the book and the production if you just don't put it out. Not yet.
Wow.
Wait. And I was like, yeah, no, I've waited enough. I've watched everybody else put out their fairy tales. I'm putting out my nonfiction because this is the truth. This comes with the receipt, and this is my realm. And I want people to understand what you don't know is because of the circle. If you think of life like the Olympics circles, everywhere you interact might be where the truth is, but then you're all the way out on this outer circle. So you don't have that information that guy way over here in that circle has. So what you know is truth may not be truth.
Right.
And we started in the center and it worked its way out. So see how far you are from the truth, right? So there are a lot of moving parts in Convoy. I've never said that Patton and James didn't have something going on prior to. They obviously did when they, sent that message, but I don't know anything about it, so I can't write about it.
Right.
I didn't even know who these people were. They were already into convoys and talking about people and, talking to people and protesting. I didn't see this as a protest. This was the right to work. This was your fundamental right to support your family, to end the mandates, and to open up our lives. You should be allowed to go shopping without a card that says you can go.
Okay, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this because this is like a different angle for me that I really didn't, until we were introduced. I have to be honest, and being a conspiracy person, I'm kind of like blown away that I didn't really see the full circle, and I'm a bit embarrassed about that. But so am I basically to believe that, I'm just trying to like think of how to put this, like you and a couple of people had this idea and it starts like it's going to gain traction. And then do you think that the hands that be, the Midas touch, you've heard of that term? They got the Midas touch. Someone gets the Midas touch named Tamara and comes in, and then this thing turns into, because it seems like it was supposed to be this really cool, slow roll, we're not in your face, unity, like unison between left and the right parties, because we were so divided. And then all of a sudden we get to Ottawa, and then it's like right versus left. Am I wrong? Like it turns into like this conservative versus liberal, awake versus asleep, vaccinated versus unvaccinated. And although there's
sheet,
love,
non-sheet.
right? Although there's love and there's unity there, to the outside people parking in front of Parliament Hill, the nonstop honking, the citizens of Ottawa turn on the truckers. Then Canada kind of turns on the truckers because they won't shut the fuck up, and it's disturbing their lives. Like, is that what is that what I'm trying to, like, is that what you're telling me here? That you had an idea, someone fucking hijacked it, turned it into something false flag that divided the country instead of really fucking uniting it. Is that right?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about false flags, let's look at the one interview that Tamara Leach did with Brian Peckford. Like, why was he there? I mean, why?
And who's he again? Sorry?
He's the last signatory of the Constitution. Right? Why was he there? He was part of TBOF, actually, the president at the time, who had members like doctors from the U.S. and had, police officers and a whole bunch of other people that are very notable in that group. And, our fundraising went to TBOF at protonmail.com. I don't know if that's ever been calculated in our funds. So I have a lot of questions. But when she ran away, when Tamara Leach ran away from the question about the guns in the trucks, she should have gone back to Ari Ben Menashe and the 1980s of Prophets of War and said, this is a false flag. It's on the 401. This guy actually testified in front of U.S. Congress about this stuff. Why didn't she say anything? Why didn't she say, according to our manual, so our green book, our Bible, as truckers, we're not allowed to cross the border with arms. If we would have been given the right to go to work at any point in time, these truckers would have been going across the border, picking up the next load, going across the border within 2 hours of where we were. Do you think they're going to have guns in the trucks?
Okay,
that was a false flag.
Can you? Okay, I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about. There was guns found in the back of a truck in Toronto, right? They like
no, there was a transport truck that apparently was stolen.
Right.
With arms in it.
Right.
Now, if you've never picked up at an arms facility, that's complete hogwash.
Why?
Because you have to go in, you have to show your ID, you have to have pictures taken of the truck. You've got the little, mirror going under and around underneath the truck. They don't just leave guns in a trailer somewhere where you can get it. They say it was parked outside the secure fence. Who does that? Right. Nobody, ever.
So wait, just tell me what you're saying. You're saying that...
You want me to nail it down? That was a false flag by the government. The government set us up.
Yeah.
There you go.
To make the
that
truckers,
is exactly how I feel about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
to make
because
the truckers look
if
like
you're afraid of the truckers...
Right.
Right? Because they got guns.
Right.
You know what? I like guns. I've shot guns.
Yeah.
My husband's taken me shooting.
Yeah.
But I would never have a gun in the cab. I mean, I get questioned when they see the knives I have in my truck.
Right.
But they're tools of the trade.
Right.
This is all what the media, though, portrayed the convoy as.
Right.
You have to, right? Like they spun it.
But they got the story from someone. Somebody gave them the story, right? This is the problem with journalism. It's very rare you see investigative journalism anymore.
Right.
Everybody's trying to get the clicks, the likes, onto the 6 p.m. news, onto the 11 o'clock news. We got to have the top lead story, and we got to beat out the next guy so we can get the clicks, likes, and views. Right? And that's exactly what happened to the guy named Pleb who put out that story about the transgender in Toronto. And the transgender was in Toronto, but the shooter was in BC. I mean, that's what happens. The clicks, the likes, the want to be on the top of the board. That stuff creates false information.
Yeah.
And I think we need to really need to put a bite in that, do the investigation, show your work, and then produce the information.
So government funded media CBC, for example, when we were at the highway Passover, and you guys were driving by, and everybody's honking, and there was hundreds of us just at the one Passover outside of London, and CBC was there to record, but they were way off from the crowd, and they had the camera.
right.
They had the camera pointed only, so there was just a few, like a handful of people at the Passover.
How the bridge goes like this and then
Yes.
down? They literally were filming 3 people over here.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't fit. Like, we were so full.
Yeah.
They just filmed them like.
Do you know
over
how many media was like, oh, you're okay, here, let's go over and talk, and we're like in this tiny little area. So I would kind of shift during the interview so you could see
Yeah.
everything that was actually behind me,
Yeah.
not the brick wall they had
Yeah.
put me behind.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So they did it on purpose to
Oh,
reduce
yeah.
our numbers. Absolutely.
It was blatantly obvious, and it kept getting more obvious with all the different crazy stories that were coming out.
Rachel Gilmore's the fire story
Oh,
about
yeah.
the apartment building. Yeah, where that was a guy from the city of Ottawa, the person that peed on the memorial. Well, how many times has that happened in city of Ottawa history? I was a resident for 30 years. That happens all the time. Every Canada Day, somebody pees on the memorial. I mean, it's
Yeah.
disrespectful, but somebody from Ottawa pees on the memorial every Canada Day.
Oh, and don't forget this is what we had a problem with this early on too. The paid protesters we were talking about, like the first day of convoy, there was guys there with Nazi flags, and that's what the CBC filmed, if you remember. And then it was Nazis are here, and then I remember I shared something, and then someone messaged me back and was like, "Your wife, the therapist, and you're supporting Nazis? How does she get away?" And I was like, "Oh my God, people are fucking insane."
Don't tell them that my background is German, please, because that'll just really
Oh my God,
spark some of the
right?
crazies.
So funny.
I think during the time we were watching everybody's stories and live feeds because we were really using social media to see on the ground, like grassroots level, what was actually occurring because nothing was being portrayed accurately. Like there was bouncy castles, there was
True.
families,
Hot tubs,
kids.
sweeping. The floors, the streets were like you could lick them. They were
Yeah.
like Italian people lived there. It was like all fucking everything. Everyone was sweeping up right. There was apparently no garbage. The homeless people raved and said, "We've never felt more of like a community. We have jobs to do. We feel important." And then they were getting taken care of. They felt love. Some of those guys, I watched an interview with a guy that said that 1 month that he was there in the convoy was the best month of his life since he'd become homeless. And then once the convoy, like, this was afterwards, and he said like after the convoy left, he went right back into his hole of like shit existence where he wants to die because
I mean, the city of Ottawa closed down the Rideau Center to these people, which is a warming center, really.
right.
Now, they would go off into their little corners.
Yeah.
But that was always, ever since I lived there, that was a place where the homeless would go and keep warm, right? I mean, they're complaining about, a monument that got defaced with, and the mandates and a Canadian flag. I mean,
Right.
I think if it was just the Canadian flag, they might not have said anything. But
Right.
I've seen it with rainbow stuff. I've seen
Right.
it with, like I said, I've lived in the city a long time.
Yeah.
I've seen people do stuff, but underneath that overpass, that's where the homeless used to sleep.
Yep.
Right? So it's like, oh, it's just this that bothers you, not the fact that
Right.
if you look further back, there's homeless people underneath the bridges. Come
Right.
on now.
Right.
Let's be realistic. These people live in an ivory tower
Yeah.
and don't understand that their mandates were killing families.
Yep.
There were 400 increases in domestic violence in some areas.
Yep.
400%. Okay,
Yep.
that's unacceptable.
Yep.
Is it acceptable to say, oh, well, to save one life, we're going to let children and women be beaten? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that's a
Yeah.
good enough reason. We had children committing suicide. Hayden's information's in there. It actually talks about suicide for teens. His family has done a wonderful job at getting a whole teen prevention suicide together. I talk about Hayden. We also, oddly enough, during 2020, came up with 988, a suicide hotline all across Canada and the U.S. Why did we need that at that point?
Right.
Was something going on? Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Lockdowns.
Yeah.
mandates.
Yep.
You know, we had a snowstorm in the area. Kevin and I were ill prepared. We needed a snowblower. Well, I could go buy paint, but I couldn't buy a snowblower, but I
Right.
could have a heart attack moving snow.
Right.
It was so ludicrous.
Yeah.
So ludicrous. So in the book, you're going to find the reason why.
Okay.
It talks about the reason why. They're going to say we didn't do our research. I'm going to tell you we did do our research. It talks about psychology. It talks about laws. It talks about everything. You live the life of a trucker. I, of course, talk about my life as a trucker. But it's going to show you what it's actually like and how we were mistreated, how we were, and it wasn't just us, it was everybody. But segregation and discrimination is not okay for anyone.
No. When you are inclusive, you are deliberately excluding. When you become inclusive, you exclude automatically.
Right.
Automatically. Right. That's why I don't believe in DEI or anything like that, because it should just be based on merits.
Right.
Who's the best? I don't give a shit that you're a lady truck driver. If you can drive the fucking truck, great. If you can't, get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. And I can tell you, as a woman truck driver, I'm very hard on women truck drivers because we are 4% of the industry. We've lost 2%. And I want you to be your best. So if I see you screwing up, I'm coming over and I'm going, hey, this is how we're going to do it. Follow me. I'm going to help you. And if they go, I got it, I know what I'm doing, I'll be like, you know what? You need to go. You need to go. I had a trainer not too long ago. I was walking. I said, did you do your pre-trip to the trainee? She goes, no, my trainer did it. And I went, it's not her responsibility to do your pre-trip. It's yours. Let's go. I took her around the truck. I said, those tires are no good. I looked at the trainer. I says, what's going on? Those tires are no good. That's a $250 fine if she doesn't blow it up on the side of the road.
Yeah, right.
She goes, oh, well, we're only going. I looked at the girl and I said, you call your dispatch, you get a new tire put on. So I look at the women in this industry and you need to be top notch.
Yep.
Why? Because we're always being looked at.
Absolutely.
The white guys will film you. The Sikhs will help you and give you all the fluids you need should you need it and tell you to pass it on. And, well, the Indians might just laugh at you, or don't talk English. But I don't know. I can't tell some of them apart. But they do help.
The Sikhs are nicer to the women drivers than white guys are? Is that like a general statement? I'm just asking.
Yeah, no. Seriously, anytime I have needed anything.
I don't have any issue. I've always had good experiences with Sikhs. But I used to be an examiner for MTO. So I had
You need to go back. We are lacking.
Yeah. I was in a bad accident doing it, and I
understand.
That's why I don't do it. But the Sikh guys were always really nice.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. That would be
anytime
to me,
I
that
need
would be
fluids.
interesting.
Anytime I needed fluids, I was on Donner's Pass. I was blowing coolant everywhere. I couldn't get it to stop, but I needed to get down the hill to help. If I could have just got 2 bottles, that would have got me down the hill. Of course, I went to the white guys first, right? Because I'm like, right? Because we all just talk badly in the industry about all the immigrants. And so I, of course, go to the white guys first. And they're like, yeah, no, I only got a bottle. No, right? I can't spare it. I'll pay you.
Yeah.
No. I hit this Sikh, and he looks and he goes, oh, nobody give you coolant? I says, no. He goes, don't worry, I got you. He goes into his kickbox. He gets me 2. And then he goes to his buddies and he goes, I need coolant for her. And blah, 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 blah. I get 4 bottles.
Okay, the story's great. I will tell you, you got to work on your accent.
Okay, it's really bad. Yeah, it's really bad. I haven't hung around my sister in a while.
I've got a pretty good Indian accent, and
Oh,
I don't
you're
think
good.
that you've got it. You've really got to do some work. No, you've really got to do some work.
Yeah.
Really not good.
I think I have a reddish lipstick. I am putting a dot right on that forehead because you did very well.
Thank you.
Very well.
Thank you. Okay, I'm really disappointed that we didn't get to hear the end of the convoy. Do you have one last important thing from like the date we kind of finished at till the end of the convoy that you think like will
If
blow
I
my
had
mind?
to say anything to your audience, open your mind, okay? I have been censored. There have been groups formed to censor me after the convoy. I have had lawyers tell me to be quiet, right? This is the first book that I can put out to give you the story, to give you the truth on what happened. And I can't put the rest out yet. There is more to come. But if you don't understand the foundation, you're not going to understand the rest.
Fair enough.
That's what you need to learn the foundation, and the stuff you thought you knew was true,
Okay.
but is not.
Okay. Well,
I just want to say thank you for coming and sharing your story because, like Jess and I, we didn't know about you. And it's helpful for us to also understand like your background and how everything led to exactly where it led to and how it also led to this.
I'm fucking fascinated. I want more. Like, I wish that we could go 3 hours because I want more about this. I'm like, this is such a good conspiracy that was right here all along, and I didn't even know.
Right? But now you get to dig.
Oh, now I'm going to, don't worry. Now, yeah. Oh, yeah. And
Ask questions.
You're going to be pissed that you gave me your number. You're going to be pissed. You're going to be pissed.
You might be when I say, hey, why don't you come over and I'll show you my computer.
Oh.
And I'll say, take a look, and you analyze and you tell me what you think. I think you'll be like, oh, now I have more questions. But if you can get the answers to them, I would so love to hear them.
Okay.
Because there are 8 of us that have tried to get answers out of Freedom Corp and their representatives, and not one of us, not Pat King, not myself, not Chris Guerra, not Chad Eros. I mean, there's 8 of us total that can't get any answers out of the other side.
Last question that I have is Pat King good or like I hate to say good or bad, but is he good or bad?
It depends on what day with me. No, I guess Pat, laugh at that one, okay? We've had our ups and downs, of course, because he gets the whisper campaigns that are meant to discredit me, make me look like I'm a lunatic. I think that most of them is she's insane, she's on drugs, she's on meth. I think that was one of them. But I get drug tested all the time, so I don't know how that works. And then, but there's a whole whisper cane. She's a liar. She's this, she's that. And, at some point, Pat bought into that. And we've been able to talk since then. And basically, when he first talked to me, he was like, come on my podcast. And I'm like, no. And he's like, talk to me. No.
Interesting.
Because, we had less things at the last point that we had left. It was like, well, you go do you, I'll go do me. I was like, okay. Then his new girlfriend, who I love her to pieces, she said, look, you guys need to stop and think. Your stories are very similar. There are a lot of consistency in your stories between the two of you, and you need to talk and get past what you think you know about each other and what you actually know. Because if Pat and I can actually bring everything together and bring in the rest, that's going to definitely put the puzzle almost complete.
Right.
So, and Pat and I are friendly. We are talking. But I have severe trust issues after everything I've been through. 4 years of being targeted by people that know nothing. I've been silenced. I've been requested to be silenced. I've been offered money to be silenced.
Threatened.
Yeah, with legal action. So, I mean, it's been a long road. And to filter some of that came the first book. And there's definitely more to come.
I'm so glad you found your voice, regardless of all this,
Thank you.
trying to be silenced anyways. This, for you to speak your truth is, like the whole story of like getting to the convoy, creating all of that, like so much beauty and strength came from your experience in all of this. So, and here we are talking today, like there's so much beauty and wonders that came from that. So, can you tell where people can buy your book or connect with you?
It's apparently available in many different languages. I've seen it
Amazing.
all over. I've seen it in Germany. I've seen it in Hungary. I've seen it in Asian lettering. I mean, it's amazing. My publisher did a great job. But you can get it on Amazon. You can order through Indigo Chapters. It's
they sell it.
What's that?
I'm surprised that they sell it. Good for you.
I don't know if they have it in store It
But
might be
online,
an
though.
order
Yeah,
only,
yeah.
but
Even still, though,
chapters
that's
indigo.
amazing.
That's
right.
great.
They have it. So it is available to you. If you know me, you can. I have a few copies available. Definitely be happy to sign them for you. We are possibly looking at doing some, book promotion in the
Yeah.
future, but my time is so limited as a trucker. And you can get it on Booktopia, Books A Million in the U.S. We were looking for the Walmart link, but it's never seemed to come up. So I guess we're scratching Walmart. But
Maybe you'll figure Walmart out.
maybe it will. Yeah. And it's available in the UK, Water something like that.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
And how can people reach out to you? You're on TikTok, obviously.
I am on TikTok. Most of my handles are Gidget642. So you can find me.
I love it.
Well, that's because she got herself in a lot of trouble in those movies back
I remember.
back in the day.
Yeah.
I got the nickname, honestly. So,
I love it.
so yeah, Gidget642 on TikTok. On X, you can find me that way too. And my email, actually, but don't blow up my email. I'm like at 89% on my email.
Don't
so.
say it then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't say it,
I
yeah.
scratch that.
Yeah.
She's
Just
like,
TikTok.
too late.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure, and I really hope that we get to do number 2 because it was you are a great storyteller.
Thank you. And I've enjoyed my time. And don't feel bad about not knowing me. I had no idea who you guys were either.
Not offended.
Burn. That was a good burn, Bridge.
Oh, no.
Okay, thanks, Bridget.
Thank you so much.
Okay.